Thanks for tuning in to the Auto Insider. Today, we're reviewing the 2022 Genesis G70. I know you've been hearing a lot about the GV80 and the GV70, the SUVs from Genesis. Well, we haven't forgotten about the G70, and neither has Genesis. We're going to be talking about this 3.3T, the twin turbo V6, and it's been updated a bit for 2022. Most notably, the grille and the infotainment system. Well, let's go inside and see what the G70 has in store for 2022. And our tester came equipped with the Sport Prestige package. It gives you the heads-up display, surround view monitor with blind spot, Nappa leather steering surfaces, microfiber suede headliner, Brembo braking system, limited slip differential, electronically controlled suspension, and heated steering wheel. Not to mention the leatherette door inserts with the quilted pattern with the contrasting red stitching. Oh yeah, and those red seat belts. My family wasn't a huge fan of it, but it does make for a conversation starter. The infotainment system is one of the things that stood out most to us about the refresh on the 2022 G70. Things that we like here on the Auto Insider are redundancies. Many of you like to control all of your features on your car with the push of a button. You want to be able to read a button, touch it, and have what you expect to happen. But for the Gen Xers, Millennials, Gen Zers, those used to touchscreen, you have those features here available as well. And you can control everything from all of your vehicle settings like lighting controls, your vehicle safety features that you want to control. All that right here from the touchscreen while you're parked, of course, because it's a monster to control while you're driving. But once you have it all set, there's no need to ever go back to that touchscreen again. Like I said, our tester came with some added features like heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, and this surround view camera is great for getting in and out of tight places. And like I said, this G70 is full of redundancies. I like to say it's more than one way to skin a cat. And right here from the middle of the instrument cluster, all of those features you just set there on the infotainment system are all visible right here from the instrument cluster, as well as the drive mode selector. And when you take it from comfort to sport, there's a difference. And one of the first places you feel the difference is right here in the seat bolsters. If you look closely, you can see those seat bolsters squeezing in to hold you in place. And while there are plenty of performance aspects to get excited about on this G70, it's still pretty practical. So it has decent storage here with an additional USB charging port here in the center console. Also, you have the cup holders on the passenger side of the center console, out of the way of the driver. And speaking of out of the way, here's a place to lay your phone down and charge it wirelessly. But when you get the wireless charger, you do lose one of the dual USB charging ports there. Now, making our way to the second row. We're not going to spend much time here because no one wants to spend much time here. You do have two cup holders for backseat passengers when you just have to have someone back there. But there's only one USB charging port, which leads me to believe it's really made for just one person in the second row. And while we weren't overly impressed with much of anything here in the second row, we did like the way this microfiber suede headliner also covered the rear deck lid. Don't know that I've ever seen that before. Well, now back to the best seat in the house, so to speak, the driver's seat. Here from the driver's seat, you have heads-up display. And you can adjust it to make it right in your line of sight so that you can see things like traffic sign recognition and control your smart cruise control with stop and go function. Also, when you go to change lanes, the surround view monitoring system allows for a visual of what's on the left or right side of you when you give your signal to change lanes. When you're done, it goes right back to your tachometer. As you can tell here, the lane keep assist really keeps the G70 right in the center of its lane. And you can actually do this for a really long time. So even though Genesis does not advertise autonomous driving, this feature works well. So if you're going on a long road trip in the G70 does a lot of the work for you. And it even works when you're on back roads. But as you can tell from just a second here, it's not as good and it doesn't work as well on back roads like this. But when it doesn't, the G70 will tell you when to take control of the steering wheel. But if you'll notice my feet, the stop and go function is still working all on its own. So the distance control works, even on back roads. And with all this technology, I'm sure you're wondering, well, does the key fob open the trunk? Yes, it does. Well, will it start it? Yep, got that covered too. Along with Bluetooth audio, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. Not to mention the electronically controlled suspension that keeps these 19-inch Michelin Pilot Sport summer tires firmly planted to the road. And then you have the LED quad headlights, new for 22, as well as the LED quad tail lights, also new for 2022. With all the attention to detail on this sports sedan, it seems obvious to us here on the Auto Insider that Genesis is committed to the sports sedan market. Well, that's all the time we have this week for the Genesis G70. But for more of what's new, what's hot, and what's not, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and download the SoundCloud app and listen to all of our reviews in their entirety. Well, as far as this 2022 G70 3.3 twin turbo V6 from Genesis is concerned, this one is hot.